Righto, for you lovely folks at home, I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties. We are starting this game a little bit later than anticipated.
But here we go, we're getting started now. We've got a CDD Cairns Derby Dolls going head-to-head with South Island Sirens from Tasmania. And I am Psycho Dyko here from TVRD, and I am sitting here with the fabulous and wonderful
Mr. Mayhem from the Reef City Roller Girls in Cairns.
Okay, so as we said, some slight technical difficulties got us started a little bit late here, and coming into it, we've got South Island Sirens with 6 points on the board, and Cairns Derby Dolls with 20 on the board.
Righto, I am just going to run through the South Island Sirens. That's a tongue twister. I'm going to run through that lineup. We've got Hormonal. How do you pronounce that one?
Hormonal.
Well, thank you very much. I stumbled on the first block. We've also got Cold Hard Gash. I'm lucky I didn't stumble there. Miss Firebug, Peggy Tsunami, Glasgow Kiss, Fox in Socks, Blitzum,
Schmucks Cousteau,
Unstoppable Mabel, and Lemmy Adam. Thank you.
And now for CDD Cairns Derby Dolls, we have Beetle Bomb, Dirty Birdie, Poppet Grenade, Miss Carnage of Justice, Heidi Ho, Einstein, Super Dizzy Diva, Kitty Roadkill, P. Jane, and Hannah Monslammer. I just got to put a quick one in there. Request from Cairns Derby Dolls to say hi to Hayden, and a big shout out to the Psycho Whisperer, who was unable to travel due to an injury happening at training during the week. So big shout out to you guys back there in Cairns. Right now we've got number 6 for the South Island Sirens, Schmucks Cousteau. She currently has herself on a power jam as CDD jammer Beetle Bomb finds herself in trouble and sitting in the bin, but she's now standing up and getting ready to come back on the track. Pretty sure we will see Schmucks Cousteau actually call the jam. Yep, and there she goes, just as Beetle Bomb was about to make her return.
It has been a pretty even event so far. The Sirens and the Dolls are very evenly matched, and very evenly matched on the scoreboard as well, Psycho.
Definitely are. I think this is going to be quite a close match, this one. It's going to be good derby action happening out there. We'll probably see some fantastic tactics from both of these teams, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Yeah,
I do believe it'll come down to the wire. What either team will need to do is win this one and win big. If they lose a second match, they do have a points differential for a playoff for 8th spot. So what they'll need to do is win, and win with a lot of points. Absolutely.
This is Cairns Derby Dolls' first game of the tournament, actually. Getting to have a nice late start to the tournament. I don't know if they're happy about that, but they're hoping to get the win on the board straight up. And Dirty Birdie is through.
It does look like Peggy Tsunami there called off the jam for the Sirens.
So now we have Schmucks Cousteau hitting the line there for the South Island Sirens.
And it looks like P. Jane is up on the jam line for the Derby Dolls.
Now, while we were having our technical difficulties earlier, P. Jane had herself a nice little jam out there where she had a bit of a power jam. She racked up quite a few of those Cairns Derby Dolls points that are there on the board at the moment.
Schmucks Cousteau. I'd just like to say the name Jacques Cousteau. Struggling at the back of the pack there to get through that Cairns Derby Doll defence.
P. Jane is being held quite tightly by the South Island Sirens blockers at the front there. She's trying to find that outside line, but trying to track her down there is Cold Hard Gash.
Both jams have made it through.
And Schmucks Cousteau gets called for a cutting. She's heading to the bin, so P. Jane got a nice little power jam here for Cairns Derby Dolls. Be looking to capitalise with a few points there.
It's exactly what the Derby Dolls will be looking for, with 9 points down at the moment. A nice way to catch up.
Yeah, the Derby Dolls pack working with their jammer there, holding back, slowing it down a bit to give their jammer a bit of a chance. P. Jane in trouble, getting called for a back block, so she's now heading to the bin, which means we will see Schmucks Cousteau coming out quite quickly. But being that she didn't spend long in the bin, P. Jane didn't spend long there either, and she's straight back out on the track.
P. Jane doesn't seem to be having a lot of issues with the defence of the Sirens, and I think yep, now she's through. Now she's through.
I don't think she was very happy with one of the touch-ups she got there on the way through, gesturing to one of the referees, calling for a headshot. Heidi Ho working hard, but Schmarks Cousteau was some nice footwork there.
Fantastic defensive work by the Derby Dolls with Beetlebomb and Carnage forcing the jammer from South Island out of play.
With that nice defensive work there, that got P. Jane a little grand slam. So 5 points, 5 more points up on the boards for Derby Dolls. I think this one, the score's going to go back and forth quite a bit throughout the bout here today, with South Island Sirens now on 32, Cairns Derby Dolls on 34.
There's quite a bit of support here for the Derby Dolls. There's a lot of North Queensland teams in the crowd today. It's good to see.
I can definitely spot a few of the RCRG Reef City Roller Girls out there, and a few of the TVRD Towns Villains players there as well. It's good to see the locals supporting each other. Super Dizzy Diva finding that inside line. Lee Jammer out there for Cairns Derby Dolls. Fox in Socks, Beetlebomb all over her. Oh, and Beetlebomb getting the good move there on Fox and Socks, who's been called for a cutting, so she's going to head to the bin. And Super Dizzy Diva has a power jam.
Super Dizzy Diva. Super Dizzy Diva. Makes her way through the pack.
I dare you, very fast. Super Dizzy Diva and South Island Sirens all in one. Go.
And don't get me started on hormonal or cold hard gash either. It's going to be a disastrous event if that starts to happen.
This Derby Dolls pack working quite well to slow it down for their jammer there. And Super Dizzy Diva calling it off as we have the Fox and Socks standing up in the bin, getting ready to come back out.
And, well, there's South Island Sirens have just called a team timeout.
Just while we've got a chance, while we've got a timeout, we'd like to do a shout-out to some of our sponsors, Adelaide Showgrounds, providing this fantastic venue, these amazing pavilions, so that we're not skating outside in the car park, because that would be cold and nasty.
And if you do feel like being fashionable on track, you can visit the Hellcat stand. You can look sensational, dressed up in derby gear, and go visit the Hellcat stand.
And also shout out to the Little Adelaide Rollers, who are actually the sponsors of the penalty box here on this track too. Hopefully we won't see too many players spending too much time in there. We like good clean derby.
It does look like the players are reforming. Dirty Birdie looks to be on the jammer line for the Dolls.
Dirty Birdie quite regularly has wings on her feet, so let's see if she can fly around the track.
Dirty Birdie has quite a following around the track at the moment. She's got quite a few fans. One of the favourite players for the Derby Dolls.
Okay, so they're off and away, and South Island Sirens. Some excellent blocking there, holding it back as long as they could. Schmucks Cousteau with some nice work, but Dirty Birdie out in front just as Fox and Socks comes back onto the track.
And Heidi Ho looks to be called off. I didn't see what that penalty was for, but she will spend 30 seconds on the bench.
Going to go take a seat in the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box. Oh, nice jammer on jammer action there from Dirty Birdie right in front of us. Thanks for that, Birdie. Nothing like a bird's eye view.
Jammer on jammer action with the Fox and the Bird.
It's some of my favourite. I love when the jammers want to take each other out. Because, you know, they don't have enough when they've got 4 blockers trying to knock the crap out of them, that they need to just take it out on each other. I love it. Smooth moves there by Dirty Birdie. She only got the 1 in that one round, but she called it off before they were able to get any on the board there for South Island Sirens.
which brings the South Island Sirens to 32 and the Cairns Derby Dolls on at 50.
And P. Jane back out on the line there for Cairns Derby Dolls, going head-to-head with Peggy Tsunami. Now, I called the game a bit earlier on with South Island Sirens versus the Rogue Sisters, and Peggy Tsunami was bringing a full wave of arsenal out there. Like, gee, and there she goes again. Out lead jammer for South Island Sirens. Keep an eye on this one. Peggy Tsunami. It's got some moves.
Heidi Ho has just come back out of the box, so the Derby Dolls have a full pack.
Little bit of miscommunication there between the Cairns Derby Dolls. Got a bit scattered there by the South Island Sirens, and just a little jump on the inside line for Peggy Tsunami. Takes a quick 4 points. Calls it off. Making the most of the advantage to call it off as soon as she could. And another Cairns Derby Doll favourite coming out with the star on, Beetle Bomb.
Lining up against Marx Cousteau, number 6 for the Sirens.
You kind of feel like you need to say it with a French accent, don't you?
I do. Jacques.
Marx Cousteau, explorer of the deep.
And Beetlebomb is... Oh, I thought she was through then, but she got held up a little bit, but now she's through on the inside line. Lead jammer.
Yeah, there was some nice work there from Miss Firebug, but just not quite enough to hold her down. And Beetlebomb just smashing around that track there.
She is fast. Look at her go. She is quick.
I don't think those blockers even realised that she was, on her way back again. But cold hard gash with the smash. And Beetlebomb on her bottom and back up again.
Beetlebomb forced to the back of the pack there, and now is on a full-wall defensive line.
I think South Island Sirens getting a bit of a hang of the bomb.
And Beetlebomb too good on that occasion.
Takes a grand slam and heads on out of there. Now this is going to be an interesting matchup. We got Dirty Birdie out there for Cairns Derby Dolls and Peggy Tsunami for South Island Sirens. Both very fast skaters and both about the same size, I would say. So it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup, this one.
Always a little bit of chat in the pack with Heidi Ho. I love a bit of team chat, a bit of sledging by Heidi Ho.
It's as long as it's all in good fun. Oh, Dirty Birdie.
Dirty Birdie gets knocked the outside of the pack.
But she was pretty quick to recover there and a nice little apex jump to get right behind Peggy Tsunami.
Peggy Tsunami's quick, but Dirty Birdie's catching. Peggy Tsunami calls off the jam and takes 3 points to 0.
Very fast skating from those two jammers. We got P. Jane back out for Cairns Derby Dolls and Fox and Socks back out there. Here's another fairly even matchup in regards to proportion, I would say.
That's right. P. Jane is one of the star jammers for the Dolls, and she is pretty quick, but I haven't seen...
Fox and Socks.
That's correct. I haven't seen Fox and Socks jam that often.
They both got the long legs. Let's see if they can use them. Jammer's having to fight hard, but Fox and Socks makes it through. Einstein going to chase her down still.
It looks like Birdie's going to spend a bit of time in the box as well. Dirty Birdie.
So Cairns Derby Dolls have only got two. Oh, they've only got two blockers out there, but so do the South Island Sirens.
P. Jane, Fox and Socks, jammer on jammer action. P. Jane calling that one off at double donuts 0.
Sometimes it's better just to leave the points alone if you're going to stop them from scoring.
That's fantastic. Here's a chance for me to get Super Dizzy Diva's name correct for the Cairns Derby Dolls in orange.
And Schmucks Cousteau back out there for South Island Sirens.
Oh, Psycho, I'm loving this little French accent you got working for you.
Now, one thing I did notice about the South Island Sirens in the last game, which is completely, nice work there from Einstein, completely non-tactical, but they do seem to have a different kind of flavour with putting on their stars in a different direction. They never seem to actually be on the side. They're always sort of like front to back or just on an angle.
Jacques Cousteau comes out flying, and she is lead jammer for the Sirens.
Oh, going for the inside line. Beetlebomb tried to bump her out, but Schmucks Cousteau there was some nice footwork there to stay on that line. Takes her points and calls off the jam. Not before Cairns got a nice sneaky point in there themselves.
Here we go. Peggy Tsunami once again jamming against Dirty Birdie from the Cairns Derby Dolls.
Battle of the speed skates.
Tsunami got the upper hand on the last jam, but don't count Birdie out just yet.
Oh, Tsunami trying to go for a little jammer on jammer action right off the line. Getting Dirty Birdie off guard, I think.
Great to see. Dirty Birdie didn't like that. She comes on the outside of the track and she is flying. She's chasing hard.
Look at that determination on her face. She's like, no, this is not over.
Oh, this is fantastic to watch. This is Div 2, but you wouldn't know
it. Great hit there from Einstein, taking out Peggy Tsunami.
Dirty Birdie looks up at the scorers and realised she didn't score anything for that particular jam, but neither did Tsunami.
Nice work there from the Cairns Derby Doll blockers. Got a bit of a rotation going on here. We've got Fox and Sox and P. Jane back out to the line. They seem to be matching up, as well as Dirty Birdie and Peggy Tsunami.
And a quick recap on the score. Derby Dolls slightly in front, 56-43 from the Sirens.
Oh, a nice big hit there from Hormonal, but P. Jane, stayed on her feet and got a lead jammer out there for Cairns Derby Dolls.
This is better defensive work from the Derby Dolls. They seem a bit scattered early, but now they've got that, or they had that 4-wall working for them.
Super Dizzy Diva in trouble with the referees for that one, heading to the bin. The Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box. P. Jane gets held up there by the Sirens, so she decides to call it off as she watches Fox and Sox rounding the corner hot on her heels. Beetle Bomb back out there with the star for Cairns Derby Dolls, and Peggy Tsunami back on the line for the South Island Sirens.
Beetle Bomb, quite an aggressive skater, quite a physical skater too, so I'm suggesting here that Beetle Bomb might want to knock Peggy Sue straight out to start with.
If I were Beetle Bomb, I would be right up beside her and give her a nice little touch up on the way through. Oh! And Peggy Tsunami in trouble for use of the forearms. She's going to take a seat on the short bench that is the penalty box.
Meanwhile, that means Beetle Bomb has a power jam. Cairns Derby Dolls, a great way for them to rack up some points.
Cairns Derby Dolls blockers here trying to give the jammer a bit of an advantage, clear her a bit of space. Stretching out the pack so that there becomes a no-pack situation, therefore none of the opposition blockers can touch their jammer anymore.
I'm looking around for the South Island Sirens and I see most of them in the bin at the moment.
They were quite short on the track there, but Peggy Tsunami has just blasted out on the track, and I don't think the Cairns Derby Dolls saw that coming. None of the jammers seem to be prepared for her re-entry onto the track.
Peggy Tsunami seems to be catching the gap between Beetle Bomb and the pack.
Absolutely. Oh, nice hit there by Hormonal on Beetle Bomb. He decides to call it off, and she's had enough, and that is half-time.
Well, that is an exciting half. The Derby Dolls came out firing. They've got a slight lead coming into half-time, but don't count the Sirens out.
Sirens, it's definitely a battle of the fast skaters out there. There's a bit of physicality going on, absolutely, with jammer on jammer action, but I think it's the speed of the skates that's really going to make the difference here. So going into halftime, we've got South Island Sirens on 43 points and Cairns Derby Dolls on 77.
And halftime's a fantastic opportunity for me to go to the Isogenics stall and grab some lunch. That Isogenics program is fantastic for nutrition, and I suggest you get it right amongst it.
Absolutely. I'm sure some of the players will probably be hitting up Isogenics to pump themselves up for the next track, next half, I should say, and get themselves back on the track.
And if you don't really feel like being healthy, we have a sensational Haig's chocolate stuff there. So Haig's Chocolates, a proud sponsor of Roller Derby.
Make sure you go in and check out all of the merch stands. Go and see all of our stalls out in the Derby Arena, in the Derby Village. And while you're there, make sure you have a look at the Rod Train truck, the media truck that's sitting in on track 1 and is looking absolutely fantastic. Streaming track 2 on track 1. It's pretty awesome.
Now, Psycho, I do believe this is the biggest roller derby tournament in the world. Is that correct?
That is what I have been told, which is pretty freaking amazing.
Little old Adelaide. Hey, hosting the biggest tournament in the world. We do have five tracks, I believe.
5 tracks running, which is just an absolute testament to the precision work that's running here. The ops have done such a great job, the ops team, making sure that everything's running smoothly. Unfortunately, we do sometimes have technical difficulties, as we did at the start of this game, but out of our hands. This has been an amazing tournament to be a part of for myself, and I'm sure for yourself as well, and it's running so smoothly, so a big props to the TGSS ops team for getting that going. Thanks, guys.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to hit that Hague's truck up, and I'm going to go and eat some Hague's chocolate for half time. Make sure you stick around. We have 7 minutes, or just over 7 minutes, and that gives you plenty of time to go to your fridge, get you some refreshments, and come back to see the second half of this fantastic game between the South Island Sirens and the Cairns Derby Dolls. We'll see you soon.
Here we go, just over a minute to go before we get the second half started. So all of the players are out there with the officials doing the official hokey pokey to get all of their gear checked for safety. Left foot in, right foot out, shake it all about, shake your groove thing.
Now I've stocked up on Haig's chocolates and I've smashed down my Isogenics shake. I'm ready to rock and roll for the second half.
Pumped and excited on the Little Adelaide Rollers track.
At the Wavell Showgrounds, Adelaide Arena.
I'm excited after this. I'm going to go check out the merch stalls and go check out the Hellcat clothing, is it?
Hellcat clothing.
Hellcat clothing. I've seen some of it around. It's pretty epically amazing.
I tried some spandex on earlier. Didn't really look that fantastic on me. However, there are many people that it does suit.
Well, there was a few dresses I was eyeing off, and then I realised, no, I don't wear dresses. But, you know, for those who do, there's some great dresses there. Maybe yourself. I can take you later if you'd like.
I think I look good in a dress, actually.
You've got killer legs.
Ah, you are too kind.
Okay, so we've got our little powerhouses getting ready to go head-to-head again. Dirty Birdie and Peggy Tsunami.
Now, Tsunami's got the better of Dirty Birdie in the last couple of jams I've had, but I'm expecting Dirty Birdie to come out firing.
So am I. It was a little bit of a traffic jam there on the line. Looks like we're all good and going to keep going. And both of these, whoa, big hit there from Heidi Ho.
Dirty Birdie finds the gap, lead a jammer. Cairns Derby Dolls in the orange.
Peggy Tsunami found the space she was looking for after that massive hit from Heidi Ho, and she's trying to catch up to Dirty Birdie, who appears to have her wings on. Maybe she had a Red Bull at halftime.
Dirty Birdie calls off the jam. Tsunami doesn't have the chance to catch up and get any points.
Schmarks Cousteau.
And Sharks lines up against P. Jane for the Derby Dolls in the orange.
South Island Sirens making the use of the pivot line here. Trying to take some advantage straight off the jammer line for the jammer there. Didn't quite get the advantage she was looking for.
Oh, big hit there. Jacques Cousteau gets knocked down.
Super Dizzy Diva hit that one on her.
Jacques Cousteau gets back up pretty quickly and is now lead jammer for the Sirens.
Cold Hard Gash in trouble with the referees. Going to take a seat in the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box.
Jacques Cousteau lead jammer calls off the jam before either team can score.
P. Jane was pretty fast around that track once she got out and got some space. Got that clearance and just sort of took off. I think Schmuck saw her coming and went, yeah, no, we're not doing this.
Tsunami against Beetle Bomb for the Derby Dolls. Once again, the two speed skaters are jamming.
I think by just judging by her positioning there, Beetle Bomb might be going to look for a little hit off the line. And she went for it, but Peggy Tsunami just sliding through.
Oh, fantastic work by Beetle Bomb coming out of that very small gap. Lead jammer Derby Dolls.
Two very fast skaters going here. Beetle Bomb just blasting out there.
Blistering pace by Beetle Bomb. Fantastic to see. Oh, great work by Beetle Bomb. Flying around the track, overtakes the pack and quickly calls it off and takes the points. Tsunami managed to sneak 2 points by the looks too. Great work for Tsunami.
Yeah, stuck a tidy 2 points in there. And again, South Island Sirens heading for that pivot line, trying to drag the pack forward for the jammers. And Dirty Birdie and Schmucks Cousteau. But it looks of it, South Island Sirens starting one short, but Cold Hard Gash not far from getting back on the track.
Dirty Birdie saw a small gap on the inside and got shut down. Dirty Birdie stuck in traffic at the back of the pack.
Schmucks Cousteau through for the lead jammer there for South Island Sirens. Cold Hard Gash is just all over that inside line, and there was a big hit there from 77 Unstable Mabel from South Island Sirens on Dirty Birdie.
Dirty Birdie stuck in Sirens traffic. Pretty heavy traffic. Oh, Dirty Birdie gets smacked to the inside of the track. Huge hit.
And the referees were not happy with that one. They're going to send Hormonal to the sin bin. She's going to take a seat in the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box. She's been a bad, bad girl and needs to think about what she's done. The two P's out there on the line. Two P's in a pod. P. Jane and Peggy Tsunami. Peggy Tsunami, I think, by watching her footsteps there, yeah, she was eyeing P. Jane off for a little touch-up on the line. Oh, and a big hit there from Heidi Ho. Taking Peggy Tsunami out on the inside line. Tried to take it back, but the refs weren't having any of it.
Peggy Tsunami fighting hard for that inside spot.
And P. Jane finding that space on the outside.
And while the Sirens were too busy worrying about the defense, they didn't worry about, they left a massive gap, and PJ just found that straight through.
Yeah, they were fighting really hard to try and help that jammer get through, forgetting that there was another jammer on the track, looking for the exact same gap.
P. Jane, the lead jam from Debbie Dolls, calls off the jam and takes 4 points.
Managed to hold the Sirens out. No points on the board there for Peggy Tsunami on that one.
Fantastic work by the Derby Dolls. They are just inching ahead jam by jam. The score is now Sirens 50 leading, or actually 50 for the Sirens, 89 for the Derby Dolls.
Initially, there were a couple of the early jams there. Derby Dolls just didn't seem to have their pack work together, but there's a lot of communication out there now, and they're playing it quite tight. Oh, big hit there from Heidi Ho. We've got
Glasgow Kiss, number 84, lining up for her first jam of the day for the Sirens.
Beetlebomb seems to have her number there at the back of the pack. Super Dizzy Diva through lead jammer out there for Cairns Derby Dolls.
And Heidi Ho gets put to the crowd. The outside of track in turn 4.
Big hit there from Glasgow Kiss. She tried to call it off. You're not quite able to do that when you're not the lead jammer, though, unfortunately. Makes it a little bit hard.
No impact, no penalty, though, if the refs don't see it.
Super Dizzy Diva takes her 3 points in the middle of the pack there and calls it all off.
It looks like the Sirens are calling a team timeout, too.
It's going to have a team powwow and
chat about the after party.
Get their tactics sorted. Organise who's going to be the sober driver. Rocks to the papers.
There's always cabs. There's no need for a sober driver at the after party.
We're in Adelaide. There's trams.
Adelaide.
Now, just to let you guys know, later on, the very next bout after this one, we have Blue Mountains versus Varsity. And I have been told there's a bit of a grudge match going between those two teams. So that's going to be a bit of an epic bout. So make sure you stick around and listen to that one.
Oh, I love grudge matches.
Everybody loves a good grudge match. And then tomorrow, we have our semi-finals announced for Division 1. We have Victoria Roller Derby League will be going head-to-head against Sydney. Victoria went in as number 1 for the semi-finals, and Sydney came in at number 4. And then for 2 versus 3, we have Canberra versus Sunstate. Now, again, I have been told that if Victoria beats Sydney and Sunstate beat Canberra, not only will we have a rematch of last year's grand final, but also, apparently, the Canberra versus Sydney game is would be a bit of a grudge match.
Oh, yes.
There could be some blood on the track.
I have seen Victoria and also Sunstate. I was lucky enough to see both teams play there, and they are magnificent. I do expect to see both of those in the final.
They are well-oiled machines out there. Okay, so we got Schmarks Cousteau back out there on the line.
Lining up against Dirty Birdie for the Cairns Derby Doll. Oh, Dirty Birdie sees a nice small gap.
That's a nice little bridge there her team created for her, but not before Schmarks Cousteau found her own gap on the outside. Out as lead jammer there for South Island Sirens. Dirty Birdie found the outside line.
Dirty Birdie is quick.
She is quick. Peggy Tsunami tried to drill her down and just missed.
Schmarks Cousteau gets through the pack on her first scoring opportunity and calls off the jam and takes 4 points.
4 much needed points there for the South Island Sirens. They definitely want to come away with it. Whoever wins this game wants to come away with big points to try and get themselves in the best advantage possible. South Island Sirens did win their game earlier today against Rogue Sisters. Cairns Derby Dolls playing their first game for the tournament. So they'll be looking to start it off with a win.
Unstable Mabel, number 77 for the Sirens, lining up for her first jam of the day.
Going to go head-to-head with the long legs of P. Jane and Unstable Mabel.
Takes the outside line, but gets knocked out and has to reform at the back of the pack.
That was some good tracking work there from Miss Carnage of Justice. Just nailed her, just as she thought she was free.
Yeah, I thought she was 3-2 actually, but she's not quite stable, as her name may suggest.
She just had that little taste of freedom and then it was snatched away from her. P. Jane, lead jammer out there for Cairns Derby Dolls, and Unstable Mabel. The Derby Dolls are all over her. Oh no, and Unstable Mabel finds herself on the wrong end of the whistle.
Oh, looks like a low block there for Unstable Mabel.
I believe so. She's being sent to the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box.
Meanwhile, P. Jane is racking up the points. 5 more points for the Derby Dolls.
She has such a graceful skate about her. It just looks so smooth and easy.
Yeah, she makes it look easy.
And like that, got herself another Grand Slam, gives herself a little round of applause as she goes around there. I think it was partially for her, partially for her blockers, but it's good to see someone enjoying their skating.
And another 5 points. P. Jane is racking up the points. This is a chance for the Derby Dolls to rack up some points for the differential.
Unstable Mabel, jammer in the bin for South Island Sirens, is standing up, so P. Jane decides to call it off. Give her team a chance to start the next jam in lead, with a power jam straight off the bat. But with Unstable Mabel standing up, she's only got 10 seconds left. She'll be back out there. But Beetlebomb has the star on for Cairns Derby Dolls.
Great tactic by the Derby Dolls to put Beetlebomb on the jam line at this stage.
Absolutely. She's a great skater and a fast skater, and she can definitely hold her own. That was a good hit there from number 99, Lemmy Adam, and Beetlebomb just did not miss a beat.
Beetlebomb is magnificent to watch on track. She is very stylish and very quick and also very powerful. Carnage
at the back of the track there. 2 of the Cairns Derby Dolls blockers going down. And Einstein finding herself in trouble getting a low block called for that one. Heading to the sin bin. Now Beetlebomb is out in front and has herself a Grand Slam, but Unstable Mabel's hot on her heel, so I don't know about you, but if that was me out there, I'd get a couple of quick more points and then call it off.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she does. Hit it and quit it. Oh, no. Beetlebomb called for back blocking, I believe. We'll just confirm that, but right at the end. So it might mean that... Was it Beetlebomb that called for the back block?
It looks like it is. Yeah, she's got a seat down there in the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box. So we have Einstein, one of the blockers, sitting down there, and Beetlebomb, their jammer. So Peggy Tsunami is going to start this for South Island Sirens as the only jammer on the track. Oh, bit of confusion. She's got herself a power jam straight off the bat.
Which is exactly what the South Sirens need at the moment. They need a couple of quick points, quick jams to load up the points.
Peggy Tsunami just having a bit of a giggle with... Oh, nice work there from Peggy Tsunami. Miss Carnage did not see that coming. Clearly because it was coming from behind. But it was a nice move nonetheless.
Peggy Tsunami happy to take the 5 points. And another 5 points. This is a 10-point power jam so far.
That was some nice footwork there. She just made that look far too easy. Calls off the jam just as Beetlebomb is about to set foot back on the track.
And that's, as I said, exactly what the South Sirens need. 10 quick points.
So now we have Schmucks Cousteau.
Lining up against a Dirty Birdie for the Derby Dolls in orange.
Oh, big hit there from Miss Carnage, teaming up with Puppet Grenade to just get a big hit there on Schmucks Cousteau, take her out. But she pops back up and it's got the outside line there. Finds herself lead jammer.
Derby Dolls concentrating on helping out the jammer and left a gap for the Sirens to get straight through.
Dirty Birdie proving she doesn't need too much help with some fancy footwork there to find a space of her own.
Dirty Birdie at the back of the pack already, flying around the track.
And Schmucks Cousteau trying to call it off, trying to stop Dirty Birdie from getting any points on the board, but it was 2 apiece out of that one.
That's great work by Dirty Birdie. She flew out of there and was determined to catch up the back of the pack and snuck those 2 points and right at the end.
That's it. You may hold her back, but as soon as she gets free, just watch that bird fly.
Let the bird out of the cage. P. Jane are lining up against a Tsunami.
Both of these packs starting up on the pivot line. Not something you see very often these days. And Peggy Tsunami blasted through. I didn't even see her. It was like a ninja through the night.
P. Jane finally through the traffic of the Sirens. But Tsunami is at the back of the pack already on her scoring pass.
Derby Dolls try to hold her back, but she finds her inside line, gets her 4 points and calls it off.
That's a much needed 4 points to the Sirens.
I was just going to say South Island Sirens really need to rack up a few more of those quick points. In and out, hit it and quit it and rack them up, call it off. Try and hold these Cairns Derby Dolls back. At the moment we've got South Island Sirens on 71 and Cairns Derby Dolls on 115.
Fox in Socks lining up for the Sirens against Super Dizzy Diva from the Dolls.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
I'm all over it. Super Dizzy Diva trying to find that inside line, but the Sirens have it pretty sewn up.
Both of these packs actually working quite well together here, gelling perfectly to hold these jammers back. Actually, South Island Sirens seem to have sent one of their blockers back to try and help their jammer out. While Super Dizzy Diva is just powering away, continually just pummeling at the front there, trying to find her own space.
Super Dizzy Diva forces the no-pack situation and flies straight through lead jammer, Derby Dolls.
I think Super Dizzy might have been hoping for a bit of a call there. She came out of it holding her jaw and checking for blood on the lip. Fox and Socks has just made her way through the pack while Super Dizzy Diva is now on a scoring pass, but these Sirens, a hard wall there for her.
Super Dizzy Diva calls off the jam before Fox and Socks can score any points at the back of that pack.
But at the end of that, it looks like we've got Cold Hard Gash. She's in trouble with the refs and heading to sit down in the Little Adelaide Rollers penalty box. Miss Carnage of Justice putting on the star. I do believe that's the first time in this game she's put the star on for the Cairns Derby Dolls.
Against a Schmarks Cousteau. How's that for a French accent for you, Psycho?
It's great. Absolutely loved it. It just has to be done when you're saying a name.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Schmarks Cousteau just... trying to work hard. Miss Carnage of Justice trying to go the inside line and just did not work out for her.
Jacques Cousteau fighting hard. And lead jammer Sirens.
Miss Carnage of Justice is not far behind her though. There's a very fast pack skating out there at the moment. I think Cairns Derby Dolls are definitely trying to keep this momentum up, trying to get the pack away from Schmarks Cousteau as she's coming around. Oh, big hit there, Schmarks Cousteau taking out Einstein.
And Einstein probably not used to being such a big hit. She's used to giving them, not receiving them.
Yeah, I don't think she's usually used to being on the receiving end of those ones. Taking a bit of a breather, shaking it off.
Dusts herself back off and gets ready for the next jam. P. Jane for the Derby Dolls, lining up against Peggy Tsunami for the Sirens.
Now 2 P's in the pot again. Oh, P. Jane decides she wants to give Peggy Tsunami a little go of her own. And again. But,
Peggy Tsunami takes the inside line, becomes a leader jammer, but gets stuck in traffic.
Ironside with a nice last-minute track down hit on her. Now, if I were Peggy Tsunami, I would be calling this jam off right now because P. Jane is coming up to score. And Peggy Tsunami's only just made her way through the pack.
That is fantastic work by P. Jane. A small gap on the inside and takes it.
I've got a feeling we're going to see a bit of jammer on jammer action here if P. Jane decides to step it up. Oh, no.
No.
Just do the quiet slide by.
Yes, I think the Sirens probably should call off the jam before P. Jane can get any more points.
Oh, no, she's not going to do it. I'm not sure what Peggy Tsunami is trying to do here.
Oh, Peggy Tsunami, that's exactly what she's trying to do. Take that, P. Jane, she
Big
says.
hit. Big hit on P. Jane. Now that had to feel good. But at the same time, while she's not calling off this jam, she is literally just bleeding points. It was a great hit there from Beetlebomb, taking Peggy Tsunami out on the inside line. And P. Jane's just got herself a grand slam.
Oh, P. Jane gives it straight back to Peggy Tsunami. Take that, she says.
I'm here, I'm back. Hello, goodbye.
Doesn't need a long memory. 2 laps later. Thanks for coming.
P. Jane's skating around, just double checking that she's not the lead jammer. A little confused herself out there, I think, that this jam is still going.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Peggy Tsunami's not aware that she's got lead jammer status.
Maybe. Hopefully she takes a look at her jammer referee shortly, or I'm not... Her bench appears to be telling her to keep going.
I'm a little bit confused myself, Psycho.
I'm really not sure what's happening here. Like, tactically, she really should be calling off the jam, but they skated out the full 2 minutes. Out of that whole 2 minutes of skating there, I do believe there's only 7 points there on the board.
I do believe so. And P. Jane says, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. She'll take the points.
Racking up some big points there for Cairns Derby Dolls, who have got themselves a team timeout right now. And so we've got South Island Sirens on 79 points and Cairns Derby Dolls 139 points. A little under 2 minutes to go here, so we're going to get, I'd say, at least 2 jams probably out of this, depending on if they decide to skate out the 2 minutes again. Hopefully South Island Sirens are having a bit of a chat about their, maybe reviewing their tactics.
And so they should, I think. They just bled a few points then.
Quite a few points. I think there was a good, at least 9 points, if not more, PJ just nailed out of that one.
Cairns Derby Dolls will take all the points they can.
Absolutely.
And they do need them. The biggest differential will help them if they do lose their second game.
And Pop and Grenade out there for Cairns Derby Dolls with the star on for the first time in this bout.
Lining up against Schmarks Cousteau for the Sirens.
And Schmarks Cousteau trying to find space at the back there, but Cairns Derby Dolls holding her back quite well. A Pop-It Grenade also struggling a bit with the traffic. Oh, big hit.
I thought she would have come on the inside there, but got hit out to the inside track.
Cold hard gash. Denied access there.
Dirty Birdie having a bit of time on the bench. I missed that, what that was for as well.
Pop-It Grenade, she thought she had that open space earlier, but now she's all caught up in traffic there at the back of the pack.
Schmarks Cousteau.
Beetlebomb trying to nudge her out at the front there, but nice spin moves from Schmarks Cousteau to stay on her skates.
Yeah, Schmarks Cousteau, the power of the skater is fantastic. She comes around and it's a grand slam.
Unfortunately, we do have Pop-It Grenade in trouble with the referees. Didn't quite see what that one was. I think it might have been a low block, so she's going to take some time on the Little Adelaide Rollers bench. Oh, but not very long, because Schmarks Cousteau is coming to join her, so Pop-It will be straight back out.
That's a very short rest for Pop-It. She's out back.
Might have been 1 or 2 fire trucks out there after that one.
Yes, if you are a lip reader, close your eyes.
Look away. Oh,
big hit.
Hormonal. Just a nice love tap there to Pop-It Grenade.
Oh, Pop-It taking some fire from the Sirens. And again.
Pop-It.
Fantastic defensive work. That almost looked like a cut to me. And
it almost did, but apparently it didn't.
No, that's okay. She's
They obviously have the better point of view over there.
Oh, the refs are right on it. The refs are fantastic, and they see everything. Now that does look like full time has been called.
Absolutely. It looks like they're at the end of the game. Just going to get the official scores confirmed, but looks like we have Cairns Derby Dolls coming away with the win on this one. So the first game for the tournament, Cairns Derby Dolls coming away with the win. They've got to be happy with that.
It is fantastic work from North Queensland. The whole of North Queensland actually is represented very well at the moment. A couple of Div 2 teams, Cairns Reef City Roller Girls and Cairns Derby Dolls, and also the Townsville Girls. They bumped up to Div 1, and they found out what it was like to come up against VRDL yesterday.
It was epic. Definitely an eye-opener for the TVRD girls. They held their own quite well, I think. Don't believe what the scoreboard tells you.
Still waiting for that official final. The Cairns Derby Dolls do look pretty happy with themselves.
And that's it. We're all official. So we have South Island Sirens with 88 points. Cairns Derby Dolls, 139 points. So after our late start due to technical difficulties, this has been a really great bout. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And make sure you stick around. Next up, Blue Mountains versus Varsity. Apparently it is a grudge match, and it's going to be amazing. And P. Jane giving us a little victory dance there.
Yeah, the Derby Dolls love it. They are celebrating the style.
I'm not sure if P. Jane was 100% aware that she was on camera there, but I know that Johnny got that one. She can watch it later.
Our sneaky cameraman Johnny catches everything. Right, just a shout out for the Sirens as they come around. We do have Hormonal, Cold Hard Gash, Miss Firebug, Peggy Tsunami, Glasgow Kiss, Fox in Socks, Blitzum, Schmarks Crusto, Unstable Mabel, and Lemmy Adam for the South Island Sirens doing their lap of honour. They
did win the game earlier today against Rogue Sisters with quite a big points differential, so hopefully that'll go in their favour later, having lost this one. Cairns Derby Dolls, like I said, first game for the tournament, so they're going to be hoping to win their next one as well and get themselves straight through. I believe RCRG won both of their games earlier on today, so we'll be seeing them play later on. So now we have Cairns Derby Dolls rolling around. Beetle Bomb, Dirty Birdie, Poppet Grenade, Miss Carnage of Justice, Heidi Ho, Ironstein, Super Dizzy Diva, Kitty Roadkill, P. Jane, and Hannah Monslammer. Another shout out against the Psycho Whisperer, who was due to come down but unfortunately couldn't make it due to injury. And I have had a great time commentating on this one. It's been a great game. I am Psycho Doko from Townsville Roller Derby.
This is Mr. Mayhem and Psycho. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and talking with you on this bout. And I hope it's not too long till we pair up again. This is Mr. Mayhem signing off.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, guys.